My name is Brooke Ripley. I am 35 years old, and just want to tell those of you who may be struggling or may have questions about your own fertility or are in the journey similar to my husband and our journey here. Just want to kind of have this for a resource for everyone who finds themselves in kind of the same situation we are. So presently we are actually in an IVF cycle, and I'll kind of catch everybody up to speed on where we are with IVF and, you know, some of the things that we experience with IVF, but I would like to start this video or this episode with telling everyone how we got here first, because I think that's very important, because there are definitely some tips that I would want to offer to someone else who has, you know, been in the same boat, who's maybe experienced loss or just trying so hard to conceive, trying to get pregnant, and just left with more questions than answers. So I'll just kind of start off with that first. In 2016 is when my husband and I got married, and right away we wanted to go ahead and start a family. So what we did first, I'll say this, I was not familiar with my own cycle, just knowing, you know, when a new cycle was coming. I had no idea, I was oblivious to it. I just knew I had a pretty regular cycle. I never really tracked it. I had a period every month, just never really a problem. And also, I cramped, I had some pain. I definitely experienced some pain with a cycle, which I always considered was very normal. Always considered that you would just cramp, you would just be in pain, and you would get over it, and you might, you know, take some pain medicine, some ibuprofen or whatever, and take a bed rest one evening or whenever those symptoms start coming on, and then you'd just be fine. But that, you just expect that. That's what I thought a woman was supposed to go through every month. So, and that is one thing I learned along the way, that you aren't really supposed to experience that much pain. But anyway, 2016 we got married and decided fairly on that we would, or fairly early, that we would go ahead and start planning a family. So I went to the store and got a pack of ovulation tests, because I'd never tracked that, and obviously that's an important part of a cycle if you're going to conceive. So that's what I did, and I think I took one or two initially, just kind of briefly read the instructions, knew it was one of those urine sticks, so like tested it. Never really got like one of those strong positives you're supposed to get. You know, the line is supposed to be as dark as the control line or even darker to indicate that you're ovulating. And the first couple ones, I didn't get that. So I was like, maybe it's the wrong time. Again, never tracked it. I literally bought it one random afternoon after school, and then came home and tested, and didn't really understand why it wasn't reading the way it should. So the next morning, or one of those mornings, I woke up, we're both school teachers, so right before school I decided to take a pregnancy test, because in the ovulation kit there's a pregnancy test. So that's what I decided to do, and I just dipped it in the little cup, left it on the counter, went ahead and took my shower to get ready for work that morning, and when I got out, it was positive, like really positive. And I was baffled, I was confused, because like I said, we had just started the discussion, and lo and behold, I was already pregnant. So of course, elated. I mean, I remember like it was yesterday. Woke him up just almost squealing to tell him that, you know, we're pregnant. We're already pregnant. I can't believe it. And went to school. Actually, on my way to school, stopped at Walgreens to get another one, because again, I was like in disbelief that we just talked about this and already pregnant. So went to school in the bathroom stall and dipped it in there again, and no time it showed up again. So it was seeming pretty real. And, you know, of course, when you get a positive pregnancy test, you just assume you're pregnant and things will just continue. So Anyway, I'm very excited. We were just about to go on Thanksgiving break and decided that since we were hosting, we had just moved in again, we're newlyweds. We had just got into, we actually have a really old farmhouse that we were renovating. We were really excited to share that progress and share our home with our family. So decided to host Thanksgiving that year, and in doing so, we decided that would be a perfect time to go ahead and announce this new pregnancy. So we actually announced it with a game of charades, and it was the most adorable thing, and it was so funny just to get everybody's raw reaction. Again, everyone was very shocked that you're pregnant. I mean, just this whole, anything you can imagine, the squeals and the just the reaction of it. Everybody was very excited, and it wasn't long, maybe about a week, and something. I'll say this, the next day I went to the doctor, confirmed it with blood, or another test saying, yes, you are pregnant. But then also talking to this one particular doctor. Doctors are very important along this journey, who you decide that you're going to place your care with. But this doctor started to talk about risk of miscarriage and when you should announce, which sobered me up very, very fast. I'd never even, miscarriage wasn't in my vocabulary at all. I'd never been close to anybody who had experienced it. I had never read anything about it, never, and this was in 2016 again, so I was just ignorant to it. I'd never been near anyone who had experienced it, and I myself had never experienced it. So when he said that, I was taken aback and really doubted everything from moving on. And not to say that that was the cause of anything, it just more or less mentally affected me. So it wasn't long after that appointment, a week or less, that I did start to cramp and not feel right and naturally just start a cycle. And it was later determined that yes, that was an early loss. I don't even know really how far along we were. We were too early in the point of getting the positive to have any kind of ultrasound anyway. Like I said, I'd never tracked my cycle, so I wasn't sure how far along I was to begin with, but just naturally passed that one. And I can't put into words how it mentally affected me. I mean, it feels like it happened yesterday, and that was 2016 and it's 2022, so that's been 6 years ago. But I never thought I would get over it, and it was 4 years of really trying with no answers, because after that first loss, you're going to doctors and you're asking, what's wrong, why? And it is labeled as normal. It certainly doesn't feel normal when you experience that. But we're told after that happens and you get pregnant the first time, you have to wait. Obviously you can get pregnant, so you have to wait. And you wait a year, and within that year nothing happened. I was tested, I had blood tests. My husband was tested. He had a sperm analysis. Everything always came back normal and fine. And we just waited, and every single cycle, every new cycle was torture. I mean, to the point where my husband had to pick me up off the ground. But 4 years passed. It does feel like yesterday,
Feels like a long time ago too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has happened obviously since then, but it also feels like, because that was very exciting. Okay. Is this okay? I'm crying. Okay. Anyway. after that first loss, and you've obviously been pregnant, you know, for any healthy young couple, which it was 6 years ago, so I was 29 years old, and they just say you have to wait. Really, and I completely understand. And obstetrician, and you know, your OB or whatever, there's only so much that they're going to be able to do in office. There's only so many tests they can give you. There's only so much assistance that they can give you. So if you've been pregnant, documented pregnancy, they're going to make you wait about a year, and then they'll start being able to look a little deeper, you know, give you some diagnostic testing just to see, are you actually ovulating? Are some of these things happening? And then, like I said, our doctor actually wrote a referral for my husband to have a test done as well, to test his semen, and everything came back beautiful, you know, perfect numbers. There was no inconsistency. There was nothing. I mean, they'll test you cycle day 1, and I might get this wrong, cycle day 14 and 21. I know 14 and 21, but I can't remember if it's cycle day 1 or day 3 that they test you with earlier. So, you know, you have 3 very significant stages in your cycle that are very important. You know, you've got the shedding of your lining, which is day 1, cycle day 1. Then you've got ovulation, the follicular and the luteal phase. Those just very important phases in a woman's body that sets up your reproductive system and preparing your body for pregnancy, and those all came back fine. So the first loss in 2016, again, that was very tough, but it took a lot of support to just move on. It takes a lot of time to move on. And I plan on telling everybody every stage that we've experienced, different things that we tried to no avail, things that I should have called more attention to earlier on, but also the way that time has passed and the people I've met at certain times that we would have never met until that time passed, and allowed for our marriage to continue to grow and get stronger. So I, again, plan to tell every part of this journey, and the journey isn't over yet either. You know, presently we're in a different stage, and it's not quite over yet. So anyway, if you want to hear more from the story, just like and subscribe to our channel, because we have lots more to tell. Lots of, I'm no medical professional, I will say that too. I'm not a medical professional, but I have been through so much and have learned so much about my body, a woman's body, that I never knew before. So, and I can just give you my life experiences, and hopefully you can gain something from it. All right.